Good morning. Here we are together. It's another fresh day. I'm so thankful for your irreplaceable light and the wisdom and experience that you bring into the world. Today is a gift filled with possibility. So let's open it with kindness and curiosity. Just remember, we're all still growing and learning, so show yourself some grace. And those people around you. We're all just figuring this out, right? So, let's grab your nearest drink and check in with ourselves. I have a coffee left over from yesterday. When I get a professional coffee, it will last me, this is a grande, this is going to last me 2 or 3 days. A venti, like 4 days. I'll drink what I can and stick it back in the fridge the next morning. Sometimes I'll just drink it cold. It doesn't matter. Today I did heat it up. I added a little bit of brewed coffee to it because I felt like it was a little too thick. I did have it made a breve. So it was yummy yesterday, but cold breve, it's like drinking a brick. So I heated it up and added a little brewed coffee to it, thin it out a little bit. And cheers. Cheers to the day, actually. I have an exciting day today. I have a interview for another airline that I'm interested in. And let's see, tomorrow in the morning, I have to leave my house at like 4 in the morning to get to check in for this pharmaceutical research study. And I'll be there for 2 weeks. I will not be able to record anything for 2 weeks. Audio or visual, I can't do any of that in there. It's against the house rules. So I'll be checked into the clinic or whatever it is. This is my first time going to this place. I'll check it out. I'll report back to you. So, see if you're interested. This specific research study is called, the place is called Fortrea. I think it used to be called Covance. And when I did research studies before, I had a roommate once. I was doing DaVita clinical research in Denver, and I had a roommate once who did Covance, who went to Covance locations. So I think, I feel like it's not going to be as nice as what I had before. I already know that they said you can't bring your own bedding or pillows, and that one of the, when you're going through these studies and you're having your heavy blood draw days and you're just uncomfortable and you don't like the food that they're serving or, other discomforts you're going through. At least I could have my own pillow, but we'll see how it works out. There is a possibility that I check in tomorrow and I'm sent home the next day because they do check in more people than they need. They have alternates just in case something happens or someone doesn't pass like drug or alcohol tests when they check in or whatever. So I could be sent home as an alternate. So we'll see. So that's all going on today and tomorrow. Exciting. And my daughter has a big test, a big FAA test tomorrow. So be praying for her. Even if you're watching this video months down the line, keep praying for her. Pray for her. Just mind to know the information. It's in her. She's been studying, so it's there. She just has to pull it out. That ability to pull out information that you've learned is a skill. I tell you what, you can read and watch videos, and then someone can ask you questions about it. Me? This is what I do, where I'm like, I don't know. So, let's take a breath and let's get into what we're talking about today. You take a breath with me, okay? What I feel is excitement. I just have all this It might be nerves, but I'm going to call it excitement. I have so much excitement for the next couple days. Let's see. I wanted to talk about John Gottman. He's a doctor and he specializes, and he's done 40 years of research in his love lab, and he's seen he can predict with like 97% accuracy, I think, how people interact with each other if their relationship is going to last. So he gives some very specific behaviors you have to watch out for and behaviors you should do to make your relationship last, to build this trusting, loving relationship. Okay, so let's see. Today's Wednesday. Imagine sitting in a room for 15 minutes and have a scientist tell you whether your relationship will last the next decade. That's what Dr. John Gottman achieved. He didn't look at big romantic gestures. He didn't look at bank accounts. He looked at the micro expressions and the tone of voice on people's faces during conflict. He found that relationships don't die from one single blow. They die from a slow erosion of respect. So, I want to look at these warning signs. Gottman identified 4 communication styles that are so destructive. He named them after the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. If these 4 behaviors become a normal way that you interact, you have to know your relationship is in danger. I keep looking over there because my kitty's just walking across the backyard. It's so cute. She's like stalking something. Anyway, these 4 horsemen you have to watch out for. And I tell you what, when I heard these 4 horsemen the first time, I'm like, I do these things. My eyes were open. I'm like, oh my goodness, maybe I just watched this behavior when I was growing up in my parents and I thought it was normal. So you may hear some of these and think, well, my marriage has lasted and I do these things, but really, you might be one of that 3% that can use these ways of communicating and last. But if you want to strengthen your relationship, your trust between your partner and you, try to get rid of these things. The first one is criticism, which is different than complaining. A complaint addresses a specific action, like I'm upset this laundry isn't folded. But criticism attacks the person, kind of like these you never or you always statements. They imply a character flaw in your partner. So, like, you're so lazy, you're inconsiderate, instead of, I'm so frustrated, this laundry isn't folded. So that's criticism. Excuse me. So, number 2 is contempt. So this one is probably the worst of the 4. It's fueled by long simmering negative thoughts. It shows up as mean-spirited sarcasm, name-calling, and eye-rolling. When you act with contempt, you're intentionally making the other person feel despised or worthless. It's a position of moral superiority. Definitely, take a moment. Have you done any of that to your partner that you can think of? Or have they done that to you? Maybe it needs to be addressed. Number 3 is defensiveness. This one I'm super guilty about. Even in regular conversations with people, I have been working on this. This is usually a response to criticism. Instead of hearing the partner's concern, you play the victim or you cross-complain. If they say they're tired, you say, well, I worked 4 hours today. This shuts down any chance of solving the problem because you've refused to even acknowledge their feelings or take responsibility for anything that you're contributing to their feelings. I'm guilty of this, not just in my partner relationship, my husband and wife relationship, but like my parent-child relationship. Honestly, there's a lot of people estranged from their kids, and there's a reason. You could be using these 4 horsemen even with your children. Stonewalling. This happens when one person gets so overwhelmed they simply check out. Has this happened to you? Has someone stonewalled you? I personally kind of shut down, and it might be from my upbringing where I wasn't really allowed to defend myself, or even in other situations, not between parent-child relationships, I'm trying to defend myself and I'm scolded for it. I think a lot of people who are raised that way do stonewall. These people stop responding, they look away or walk out. While it's often a way to calm down, it leaves that other person feeling abandoned and unheard. So sometimes walking away is the better option, but when you're using it maybe as a punishment to the other person, then that's when it turns into one of these 4 horsemen. The 4 horsemen are what tear the house down. Now, this is what I love to talk about. Like, those are all the negative, like, don't do these behaviors. But this next one is like something you need to do and something you can just easily add into your life, and something I've talked about a few times before on this show. It is called bids for connection. You make a bid. You're bidding on something. You're bidding to get that connection with that person. They're the bricks that build your relationship. A bid is any attempt to get connection or affirmation. Attention or affirmation. They can be as small as, hey, look at that bird. Babies do this a lot. Children, you can build these bids of connection with your kids so easy. Or they can be just passive, in passing, like, oh, my husband does this a lot. I'm so worried about this meeting or his work trip, or he's like, I'm really nervous and I don't want to go. And I'm like, honey, your whole team just adores you. You're the expert in this field. That's why they want you there. You are so valued. And maybe that doesn't help. Maybe that amps up the anxiety. I don't know. I'm just trying to be supportive. But with truth, I'm not blowing smoke at him. This is real truth, facts about him. So when someone tries to do that bid for connection, you have 3 ways you can respond. And the first one is called turning toward. You can acknowledge that bid by putting your phone down. You can acknowledge that bid by looking at that person, and you can also acknowledge the bid by engaging. Like, you can even repeat the words that they said to engage with them. So, like if someone's like, oh, look at that bird, you can say, oh, wow, that is a beautiful bird. I wonder what kind it is. Do you know what it is? And you can actually grab that bid for connection and savor it. Now, the next response you can do to these bids for connection is turning away. If you ignore the bid, you stay on your laptop, or walk out of the room without answering, or you just maybe, this happens unconsciously sometimes. When someone is, maybe you're wrapped up in your thought, you're thinking of something, someone else, talks and you just don't hear. Also, texts that go unanswered, I feel, could fall in this category. Unanswered phone calls, when you know that person answers every phone call. When they're with you, they're on their phone answering constantly, but when you call them, it doesn't get picked up. Oof, that hurts. That hurts. That feels like a turning away. But, and then there's one more, turning against. You respond with hostility. Why are you bothering me with those birds? Like, I hate talking about birds. Like, birds bother me. Birds aren't real, or, whatever. That's not good. Yeah, not good. So the result of all this research, couples who stayed together turned toward each other 86% of the time. Those who divorced only turned toward each other 33% of the time. And it's the cumulative effect of these tiny little 5-second moments that determine the future of your relationship. I did want to talk about what the Bible says about this. I love hearing the timeless wisdom in the Bible, especially in Proverbs, one of my favorite books. So, Proverbs 15:1 says, "A soft answer turns away wrath, but harsh words stir up anger." And Gottman also has this other thing called the soft startup. So you begin a emotion-fueled conversation without blame. You can begin bringing up your concerns, communicating with your partner without the blame. Then something in Ephesians 4:29 says, "Let no corrupt talking come out of your mouth, only such as is good for building up, as it fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." So that is almost the exact definition of turning toward a bid for connection. Either your words are tools for building up the architecture of this relationship, or it can be words that are just this acid eating away at the foundation. So, let's see the homework. Watch for a bid from someone today. Someone you might love. It could be a mundane comment or a request for help, but make a conscious, exaggerated effort to turn toward their bid today. Just be aware. People are doing these little bids for your attention, bids for connection with you. Your neighbor. Like, I have a neighbor who would text me, and I make sure I put lots of hearts in my response, because I know she lives by herself. And it's really, people are just yearning for a connection. They are. And it's that connection that can fight depression and mental decline. It's scientifically proven. You guys, we need each other. We need each other. So, there's a couple of resources I was looking at. The Gottman Relationship Advisor is an automated tool that uses the Gottman method to give you personalized checkup on your relationship's health. Let's see if I have the link to it. It's www.gottman.com/couples/relationship-advisor. So hopefully you can look that up, a little checkup on your own relationship if you want. I don't know. I think there's so much information out there that's already been pre-digested for you that you can just Google 4 Horsemen of Relationships, or bids for connection, like search on YouTube or somewhere. So many things already laid out for you, digested, like I said. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just see what someone else, and they have cute graphics and little animations you can watch. It's so fun. So if anything I said sparked a thought, go ahead and leave a comment, leave a like or a thumbs up or follow or whatever, subscribe. Every single day is another chance to keep learning and keep growing and become more of the wonderful person you are. The world is better with your light in it. And thank you so much for sharing time with me. I'm so happy you're here. I will not see you tomorrow, but I might be doing some shorts. We'll see what happens. Okay, until I see you again, I hope you have a great day. Remember, you're the Lord's precious ones. Bye.